What is up? What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to the stream. I'm just going to say right off the bat here, I'm a little tired tonight. It was a beautiful day today. Absolutely beautiful day. It was sunny. It was nice and warm outside. I spent the entirety of the day tilling, man. I got me a tiller. I was tilling up some garden space. I was building some plots. So I'm a little exhausted. I'm not sleepy. I'm just exhausted. But we are here tonight, man. And tonight, we've got an interesting one in store for you guys. We're going to talk about seeing through the fog, anxiety/sensitization, seeing through the fog. So this is just another interesting way to word what your objective and what your goal is with healing and recovery, right? With sensitization, tired nerves. So an interesting one in store for you guys tonight. I hope you're all doing fantastic. What is up, guys? Welcome. First live I've been in from the beginning. Well, hello. Welcome. I'm glad you could catch one from the beginning. What is up, gamer? What's up, man? Well, up in the theater watching a movie of slight anxiety vibes, but still rolling. Enjoy the movie, man. Enjoy the movie. Kate, what's up, Kate? What's up, JR? Welcome, guys. Wonder Bro, what is up? Sanchez, how you doing, dude? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing fantastic. Thank you for that, Kate. I appreciate you. I hope you're having a great night as well. Yeah, it's been a good day for me. It's been a good day for me. No complaints. Just spent, like I said, most of my time today working outside, so I enjoyed that. Had the most wonderful time with my girlfriend today. Met her grandmother. Nice. Glad you're meeting the family, right? Must be getting serious. Such a sweet lady. Then we played video games and just cuddled. Oh, how sweet. How sweet. I'm sorry. I'm just so damn happy. I'm happy for you, dude. I am happy for you. Welcome to the stream. Like I said, guys, tonight we're going to be talking about seeing through the fog. This is just an interesting way to sort of word things to try to help you guys put what your objective is, what your goal with recovery is, into perspective, because this, really healing and recovery all comes down to your ability to see things for what they are. To see the symptoms for what they are, to see the intrusive thoughts for what they are, just to see your situation for what it is, instead of jumping to conclusions and continuing to do the obsession and the arguing and the fighting and the worrying, not living, right? So really the whole goal behind this channel, my streams, my videos, is to just help you guys put things into perspective and see things a bit more clearly to get rid of some of that confusion, right? So, interesting one tonight. I believe we've already got enough people in here to go ahead and get started, man. I believe we do. We've got a fair amount of people in here. Let me do one thing real quick. I'm going to drop one more notification, and then we'll go ahead and get started. What do you think, guys? Go ahead and get started. Go ahead and leave those thumbs up, guys. Go ahead and leave those thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Let me drop one more notification, and then we'll get rolling. I won't keep you guys waiting too long. Okay, there we go. We have harassed the Discord enough. I'm also going to drop that Discord link, guys. If you want it, click on it before it expires. Join us over on the Discord. And yeah, one last thing. We are growing like crazy on TikTok. We're almost at 650 followers. When I started over there a few weeks ago, we only had like 200 followers or something. So check me out on TikTok, Vacate Fear. But besides that, I think we're ready to go. Let's see. Let's get this music out of here. Okay. Don't want to be fighting with that the whole time, trying to talk over that the entire time. All right, guys, let's get into the topic of tonight's stream. Anxiety slash sensitization. You have to see through the fog. Sensitization, such a big and intimidating word. Let's talk about it. You have to see through the fog. So, like I said before we got started here tonight, really the whole goal of my channel, the whole goal of me, the whole goal of these videos and streams and TikToks and whatever else is to help clear confusion away, right? Because confusion is a breeding ground for obsession, and obsession is the root of your problems, right? Obsession is second fear. When Dr. Claire Weeks said second fear, she meant obsession. So see through the fog is another interesting way that I want you guys to view this thing. When you are under the spell, right, and that's what it feels like, when you are under the spell of sensitization, a tired nervous system, you are going to experience physical symptoms that you really probably can't describe most of the time. You're going to feel a mix of emotions between terror and dread and doom and gloom, and depending on where you are in your journey, this can be pretty frequent, this can be infrequent, this can be up, this can be down. You can have better days, you can have worse days. It's all over the board, right? But when you are under the spell of sensitization, aka tired nerves, whether you're in a severe place with it, just starting out with this journey, whether you're somewhere in the middle, an awkward in between, or whether you're closer to the end, you are going to experience just an entire onslaught, of different symptoms, right? Of different symptoms. Now, the symptoms themselves are not necessarily the problem. Of course, the second fear is the obsession. When you are under the spell of sensitization, you are entering into basically a new world, right? And how can we prove that? If you compare yourself to your old self, you will see that things are starting to scare you that normally did not scare you. You are starting to see that you're giving credit to things that you normally did not give credit to. You are starting to see that your world has basically changed. Everything has these physical symptoms of anxiety, the terror, the doom, the gloom, the fear. You are worried and obsessed over things that you normally wouldn't be worried and obsessed over. All of your intrusive thoughts, your thoughts in general, just seem very bleak. They seem very what-ify. They seem very scary. They can be about your life now. They can be about your past. They can be about your future. They can take many different forms. But the point of tonight's stream is to let you guys know that you have to see through that fog, man. You have to see through that fog, because the problem with sensitization is that you're trying to fix something you can't fix. You're trying to fix something you can't fix by fighting with it. You can only fix it by leaving it alone. So you have to see through the fog. So if you wake up each day and you are under the spell of sensitization, you've got some tired nerves going on, or maybe you had a great day yesterday and you wake up today and you got some tired nerves going on, you're very much in that healing process, and you start to get a bunch of intrusive thoughts about something that you normally wouldn't care about. That's where the story has to end. You have to remind yourself with what we call the accepting inner voice, or that non-engagement inner voice. You have to say, look, I've got a day to live. I'm going to get up. I'm going to live my life today. Yes, these symptoms are there. Yes, those intrusive thoughts are there. They're causing me a ton of anxiety, but this isn't the real me. I'm going to get up and see through the fog. I'm not going to try to fight with these thoughts, because I know there's no point. It's not the real me. This is not who I was before I became sensitized. It is the sensitization talking. It is the tired nerves talking, and that has to be the end of the story. The more you try to dig around with this thing, figure it out, fight with it, obsess over it, argue with it, the deeper you get, because that's all tiring the nervous system. All of those terms, fight, argue, obsess, that is tiring your nervous system, which only makes it worse in the long run. To win at this game, you have to walk away from the game. To win at this game of chess, you have to stop playing the game of chess, right? So seeing through the fog is where you wake up each day with this mentality and attitude of, wait a minute, I know this is not the real me. It's the tired nerves talking. There's no point in fighting with these thoughts, no matter how much anxiety those thoughts are causing, because I know they cause a ton. But no matter how much anxiety those thoughts are causing, you know that you have to see through the fog. You can't fight your way out of those thoughts. It's going to make them louder. It's going to make them stronger. It's going to make them worse, right? Luis, hey, thank you so much, dude. I appreciate you. Show some love in the chat. First tip of the stream. If you want to support the stream, link is in the description. I'll read that tip note in just a second. Thank you so much, dude. You have to be able to see through the fog, guys. When you fight and argue with these thoughts, when you fight and argue with these feelings, which is what you do up here mentally, fighting and arguing with these intrusive thoughts and feelings, you are making it worse and you are tiring your nervous system out. The only way to win the game is to stop playing the game. And that's what I mean by see through the fog. Every single day you got to have that accepting inner voice that says, hey, that thought's there. Okay, it can be there. It can be as sticky as it wants to be. It is what it is. If it happens, it happens. I'm not going to fight with it. I'm not going to argue with it, because that's like trying to fight with a toddler. You're just not going to win. You're just going to make it louder. You're just going to aggravate the situation. And the main reason I tell you not to fight with it, not only the obvious, of course, that's what works, but also because it's a bluff. It is a lie. It is a total lie. You have to see through the fog. This is not who you really are. You are in a state of sensitization, which means your thoughts become more intrusive. They become louder. They come with more intense feelings and symptoms, physical symptoms in the body. When you are under the spell of sensitization, you are no longer in your regulated, normal nervous system, which you've all experienced before. Before you showed up here, you've experienced what it's like to be in that sort of regulated nervous system where all these thoughts aren't coming so quick, they're not coming so hard, they're not delivering so many anxiety symptoms. But now you're under the spell of sensitization, which is a lie, which is a bluff. These thoughts are only causing so much of a reaction in the body because your nerves are tired. They're on a hair trigger. That's why they're causing so many symptoms in the body. These symptoms that you feel are the result of a tired nervous system trying to prepare you for fight, flight, freeze, all that good stuff. And at the end of the day, it's just not who you are. It's just not the real you. We can look back on your past and prove that, right? We don't have to debate this. We can look back on your past and we can prove that this is not who you've always been and this is not who you always will be, right? But you got to leave it alone. It's the same concept as having a broken ankle, jumping up and down on it and saying, why is my ankle not healing, right? Every time you fight with a thought, every time you fight with a feeling, you are essentially jumping up and down on a broken ankle, and then you turn around and you say, why is it not healing? I wonder. All of the jumping up and down on it might have something to do with it. And the jumping up and down on it is the arguing, is the obsessing, is the fighting. Okay? So stay with me for a second. Imagine for just a second if from this stream forward, you had the what we call the accepting inner voice, or the non-engagement inner voice we've been calling it recently. Imagine for a second if your non-engagement inner voice, every time you had a sticky intrusive thought that was causing you a ton of anxiety, I know it causes you a ton of anxiety, every time you have a symptom that pops up that's causing you a bunch of fear, just imagine for a second if from this stream forward your non-engagement voice that you started to practice was something along the lines of, hey, this isn't the real me. It's just those tired nerves. That thought can be there if it wants to be there. That feeling can be there if it wants to be there. It's a bluff, right? It's a lie. I know the real me. This is just tired nerves talking, right? Now, of course, you don't want to drag it on and on like that, but imagine if you had some sort of an inner voice that just said, hey, that thought's allowed to be there. I'm going to see through the fog, right? I know that that's just a bluff. That feeling's allowed to be there. I'm fine. I'm going to see through the fog. Now, I'm not trying to take away from you guys how intense these thoughts and feelings can be. I keep coming back to that because I want you to understand that I understand. I really understand just how intense these thoughts and feelings can be, but you can't beat them. You can't beat them. I mean, no matter how intense they are, right, the fact remains that you can't beat them. You can't fight them. You can't win in a fight against them. At some point, you got to develop the non-engagement, accepting inner voice that says, hey, no matter what thought or feeling is there that wants you to obsess over it and fight with it, you got to develop that non-engagement inner voice that says, you know what, I'm seeing through the bluff. You know what, I know the real me. Just let it happen. Let it happen. Let it happen. Let it happen. You see, this journey is just a repeated let it happen. It's a repeated let it happen. And if you don't have a non-engagement accepting inner voice to help guide you into letting it happen, you're just going to keep fighting and worrying and obsessing. Now, you don't have to believe that accepting non-engagement inner voice right away, right? Just practice it. Keep telling yourself, hey, I know this is a bluff. I know the real me. It's true, right? You can all look back on your past and tell this isn't the real you. You're fighting against something that is an illusion. You're fighting against something that's a bluff. Well, as soon as your nerves start to heal up, you're going to catch a break from these intrusives. You're going to catch a break from these symptoms. You're going to catch a break from the intrusive thoughts causing so much anxiety. As you begin to heal and you continue to heal, it's going to become clear and clear and clear, and you're going to say, oh yeah, now I'm getting back to the real me. That thought's not causing so much anxiety anymore. That thought's not coming as much anymore. These feelings are not as strong as they were before. I'm starting to feel confident again. I'm starting to feel like the real me again, because the real you is there. It's in there, right? It didn't go anywhere. It didn't go anywhere. The real you is very much still in there, but you can only bring the real you out if you stop fighting against this fake temporary you, the sensitized you. You can't fight against the fake temporary sensitized you and expect the real you to come out. The only way the real you, which is, like I said, hasn't went anywhere. You're not to the point where the real you's gone forever. You're not to the point where the real you's broken. The real you's right there. It's right there. It's never went anywhere. But in order to get the real you to come back out, you have to stop giving power to by fighting with this temporary fake you. You just have to see through the fog. Every time these thoughts come and they cause so much anxiety and these physical symptoms are there, I know they cause so much anxiety. I know it feels like crap, and that's saying the least. I understand that is saying the least. I know all this stuff, but you've got to develop a firm foundation of that non-engagement, accepting inner voice in order for you to see through that fog and keep yourself out of the fight. That's what the non-engagement voice is there for. That's what the accepting inner voice is there for. Not to magically make your thoughts and feelings go away right away, because it's going to take time. This is not going to be like an instant thing. The non-engagement accepting inner voice is not to make anything magically go away in the blink of an eye. It is just a paddle to help you through the storm, to see through the fog so that you don't start fighting with what is there. What is there is going to take time to heal. What is there, the thoughts and feelings and thoughts, the symptoms, that's all going to take time to heal. The non-engagement accepting inner voice is just a paddle to help you through the storm so that you don't start fighting with what is there. You're not trying to make what is there disappear. You're trying to just see through the fog of what is there. Right? Long enough for your poor, tired, beat down nervous system to catch a break, right? And we did an excellent stream the other day, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about how this is why you're still sick, because you're still trying to dominate and show force over these thoughts and feelings, which just empowers them, makes them stronger, and tires your nervous system out more and more and more. At some point, the cycle's got to come to an end, and you've got to have the non-engagement inner voice that says, hey, you know what? I'm seeing through the fog. I know these thoughts are a bluff. I know these feelings are a bluff. I am seeing through the fog, because I can tell you, you cannot obsess your way to recovery. You just can't. Point blank simple, you cannot obsess your way to recovery. You cannot mentally fight your way to recovery. You cannot think your way to recovery. There is no such thing as thinking your way to recovery. You just got to put down all of that obsession and then develop that accepting inner voice that says, hey, you know what? I see the bluff, and I also know that I can't think my way to recovery. I can only make it worse. You can't think your way to recovery. You can only make it worse. You can't obsess your way to recovery. You can only make it worse, right? So at some point, the obsession's got to come to an end. The accepting non-engagement inner voice has to come up to keep you out of the obsession, right? This isn't the real me. I'm going to see through this fog. I'm going to let these thoughts and feelings just pop off and do what they want and live my life. That is the two main keys, to stop mentally fighting and live your life. Stop mentally fighting and live your life. That is the only way. You can't think your way to recovery. You just got to drop that. Use the accepting inner voice to keep you from trying to obsess your way to recovery and live your life. Your body is willing to heal itself, but you won't get out of the way, right? Your body is willing to heal itself, but you won't get out of the way. And that brings us to the point of tonight's stream, guys. You really have to start seeing through that fog. You have to start saying, wait a minute, there's nothing worth fighting with here. I'm not going to fight with that thought. I got to see through the fog. I'm not going to fight with that feeling. I just got to see through the fog, right? And allow that fire to burn. And I know it's hot. Man, sometimes it gets really hot. It's really intense, and it's really impactful. I get it. But you got to let that fire burn and stop adding fuel. Stop adding fuel to the fire and let that fire burn. It'll take time for it to burn out. But as long as you're not adding logs, as long as you're not adding a fuel source, wood, right, it will eventually burn out. But that's where you got to see through the fog and say, hey, I'm not fighting with these thoughts and feelings. That becomes your non-engagement accepting inner voice while they're there, right? And you just let them happen while you continue living your life. So that is the two main keys, and that is the point of tonight's stream, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, man. If you did enjoy it, please leave a big thumbs up. I would really, really appreciate it. Eventually, guys, you have to get to the point, man. You have to get to the point where you realize that nothing is worth fighting with anymore as far as your intrusive thoughts and anxiety symptoms go. Eventually, you have to get to the point where the fight stops and you develop that non-engagement inner voice, because it's the only way that you're going to put an end to gassing up your symptoms. It's the only way. You know, we say here on the channel all the time, worry equals anxiety, obsession equals anxiety. It's the same thing. The more obsession and worry you do, which is you trying to fight mentally with your thoughts and feelings, the worse you feel. You just feel more and more stressed. I mean, you guys are walking proof of that, right? So At some point, man, you got to realize there's no such thing as thinking your way to recovery. You just got to use that non-engagement inner voice and leave those thoughts and feelings alone, continue on with your life. And that's really the point of this channel, is to try to drive that point home, because that's crucial. That's fundamental. If without that, we keep going in circles. Right? Without that, we simply just keep going in circles. So hopefully, there's accountability. Hopefully, you're holding yourself accountable for that. It's very easy to slide back into the habit of mentally fighting and obsessing. Olivia said, I've practiced this before and recovered since my granddad, died. It's come back twice as bad. I'm struggling so much this time. The frustration, not accepting, it fuels it. Yes, so you've practiced this before, and what happened is a life event caused you to go back into your bad old habits of obsession. You started probably obsessing over something that happened, right? Your granddad died, and that obsession led to symptoms, and then you obsessed more over the symptoms returning. And do you see how the cycle begins? Do you see how it forms? And do you see how it's maintained? It's very easy to spot how the cycle is formed and then maintained once we shine a light on it. So Olivia, if you've done it once, you can do it again. At some point, you got to build that accepting non-engagement inner voice and leave it alone, right? I hope this stream inspires you to do that. Who do we still have in here with us? We're going to move on over to the post stream. Let's get our music back. Just a smooth transition right onto the post stream. If you guys got any questions, feel free to ask those. Is there such a thing as being sensitive post-chronic anxiety recovery or mild sensitization? Let me see, let me read that again. Is there such a thing as being sensitive post-chronic anxiety recovery or mild sensitization? So healing in itself is healing from the sensitized state, right? So if you're still sensitized, then we can say that your nerves still need a little bit of work, and that means that you still have to practice acceptance and not fighting with those thoughts and feelings, right? So it's basically, when you say chronic anxiety recovery, you could basically say chronic sensitization recovery. I think what you're asking there is, can you get out of the more severe chronic stuff and still have some work to do? Yes, you can go from severe to mild to, there's different varying degrees of it, but it's all treated the same way. Bye-bye. See you later, Kate. Are you leaving us? Hello, Chris. What's up, Gustavo? Also, man, I forgot to add your tip to the tip goal. I was mid-rant. I apologize. Luis, thank you so much for the $10 tip, dude. I appreciate you. Thanks for your talent of breaking down the Clear Weeks method to the point where it's easy for me to apply it. Absolutely, dude. Thank you for supporting the stream, man. We're on a 12-day streak. Really appreciate it, dude. Let me put you up on the board real quick. Let me put you up on the board. If you want a special message on the board, just let me know with your tip. I'll put it up there for you. Thank you, dude, for supporting the stream. Really appreciate it. So let me see here. I'm going to scroll a little bit just in case I missed anything. It's very addicting, JR, right? Like the habit of wanting to mentally fight with your thoughts and feelings, even though I can tell you it doesn't get you anywhere. In fact, it keeps you from recovering. Even though you know that, it's still very tempting, and it's very much an addiction. And that's why I did that stream the other day on how you're basically breaking an addiction, because that's what you're doing. I thought I saw Rich pop up in here. Yeah, we got Rich in here. What's up, Rich? Hope you're doing fantastic tonight. JB, what's up? Hi, Wonder Bro. How are you? I'm doing good, dude. I've had a good day today. Spent a lot of it outside working. Back when you were sensitized, you said you were questioning everything. What gives me anxiety is about how life works, like the point of morning, afternoon, and night feels like monotonous, weird, because I was struggling with health anxiety or panic, and it switched on like going crazy for questioning things. It's hard not to question sometimes because they just come up with a bunch of anxiety feelings, but it's an on and off thing. I feel good sometimes, and it's priceless, though it feels like anxious because I'm not anxious, which is weird. So, basically what you're describing sounds like a lot. It's not a lot. Themes can change. Your intrusive thoughts can change. It can go from health anxiety, like you mentioned, to, oh, what is the meaning of life? What's the point of life? What are mornings and afternoons and evenings? And it can go to all sorts of things, right? But the content's irrelevant. If you guys continue to get caught on the content, then that means you're going to try to tackle one after the other. And we're not trying to tackle one new theme after the other. We're trying to treat it all the same, which means you have to see through the fog, right? The point of tonight's stream. You have to say it doesn't matter if my mind is sending me intrusive thoughts about health anxiety, or if my mind is sending me intrusive thoughts about what is life, or the, meaning of life, or going crazy, or it doesn't matter what the tired mind and body, what kind of thoughts the tired mind and body are sending you. We're not going to treat them any different, right? We're absolutely not going to treat them any different. The person who's struggling with health anxiety and getting intrusive thoughts about their health has to treat those thoughts with non-engagement, acceptance, not fighting with those thoughts and feelings, just like another person who's getting thoughts about going crazy. It's both treated the same way. Yes, absolutely, your thoughts can change and your quote-unquote themes can change, but guess what? The solution never does. The solution never does, right? That's the good news. So it's the same solution, and you'll hear me say it all the time. The content is irrelevant. We don't care about the content because it's all treated the same. Let's see here. I hope that answer helped you out, JB. Starting to realize the symptoms such as intrusive thoughts are an offset of anxiety, but it goes away once you heal. So figuring out the thoughts is arguing something that doesn't exist when healed. Exactly. Not the real you. See through the fog, right? The whole point of tonight's stream. Exactly, Kay. Exactly. Hope you're doing well. I think I'm expecting the practice to work right away. It won't, right? Just like we said earlier, it takes time for a fire to burn out. Even after you stop adding the wood, even after you stop adding the fuel source, it still takes time for a fire to burn out, right? It takes time for your nerves to heal, even after you stop mentally fighting with your thoughts and feelings and living your life. The two keys. It still takes time for those nerves to heal, that brain to learn, right? Rich says, I was in a bad state of anxiety and fatigue some months ago. Not my first go-round on the anxiety merry-go-round, but definitely the worst. Forever grateful for Wonderbro and this channel. Healing. Yes, Rich, I love it. Thank you for the positivity, dude. Yeah, there's a lot of people in this chat making progress. There's a lot of people who's been here in the past that has healed completely, right? 100%. And there's a lot of people here just getting started. No matter where you find yourself, though, whether you healed, whether you're somewhere in the middle, whether you've been practicing, whatever, you know, whether you're at the very beginning, no matter where you find yourself on your journey, understand that everybody here can relate to you. Everybody here is rooting for you, and we're all here helping one another, right? I've been feeling way better these days, but anytime my heart rate goes up or I'm out of breath, like when I'm trying to work out, I start freaking out. So still some of that leftover bad habit of obsession and fighting, right? So, you know, like I said the other day, it's an addiction, and you can have some of that leftover addiction still there. Just continue to work on it. You're making progress, but there's always room for growth, right? There's always room for growth. Thank you, Wonderbro. There's days where I feel amazing, though. Just don't understand why anxiety don't learn good days as much as the bad days, right? Because anxiety only learns while anxiety's turned on. It doesn't learn on quote-unquote good days. Anxiety only learns while anxiety is turned on. When you've got those fear pathways activated, that's when you can work with them. You can't work with them when they're dormant and not turned on, right? So actually, if you're having a ton of intrusive thoughts and feelings, it's a perfect chance to use those two keys and teach your brain, because anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on, right? I've had lots of ups and downs since I started my journey, Chris, and weeks teach me the knowledge and tools to not let it get to a full sensitized state. Yes, and that is totally normal, Gustavo. A lot of people watch my streams and videos and think that I just nailed it right away. No, it was an up and down journey, right? Many years, not many years of full-blown sensitized, but many years of learning from Dr. Claire Weeks, learning about acceptance, then trying to apply it, then not applying it, and then applying it again. It took me a long time to like kick myself in a gear and say, hey, you need to work on this. So a lot of ups and downs in the way that sometimes I was trying, sometimes I wasn't really trying. And, you know, it just, you're going to have those ups and downs where you got to learn and you got to go through that process, right? So, you know, like I've said many times here on the channel, you know, I was sensitized like 2 or 3 pretty severe bouts of sensitization. I didn't know the advice back then, but even after I learned the advice, it's still, I had a lot of ups and downs trying to make myself apply it, because even after I learned it, I wasn't using it. So all of these ups and downs are very, very normal. Very normal. But I tell you what, you don't have to make the same mistakes I did. You can go ahead and kick yourself into gear and say, hey, we're going to start working on not fighting with these thoughts and feelings. We're going to start working on living, the 2 keys. We're going to start working on that tonight. You know, you don't have to do what I did. You don't have to, you know, go through all that crap. So what's your view on medication? I would love to try and heal without it. I really can't give my view on medication, unfortunately. I'm not a doctor, right? So I really can't touch on medication. All I can say is that you can use this advice with or without, but other than that, it's really just your personal choice what you want to do there. Let's see. I think where most people go wrong, acceptance is thinking if we still feel the symptoms, we're doing it wrong. So I go back to arguing. I have to remind myself this takes time. It's not a quick fix. Yes, in fact, you're going to feel the feelings. You're going to have the intrusives, even when you're not fighting with them. That's how it goes. That's how this works. This doesn't work any other way, right? You're still going to feel those thoughts and feelings. And as long as you're not fighting with them mentally and you're continuing to live, rest assured that your brain is going to make the appropriate changes behind the scenes. And sometimes it takes time for those changes to show up, right? Been having some serious brain fog lately. Time seems a blur and memory is foggy, but been using acceptance method and floating with it. Memory symptoms are scary, but accepting and not obsessing. No matter how scary it is, I think you nailed it there. You hit the nail on the head. No matter how scary it is, you are sticking to the advice, and therefore you're going to get there, right? That is what's going to make the difference. So congrats, dude. Awesome. All right, guys. Let's see here. Thank you again, Luis, for the $10 tip, man. I really appreciate you. We're on a 12-day streak, guys. If you want to support the stream, link is in the description. Thank you once more for getting us to a 12-day streak. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you, thank you. Yes, it did with the health anxiety, which gave me a lot of panic years ago. But I don't freak out much. Mostly it's the mind games in my head that I need to accept. I feel like I'm just using one of the keys, which is to live life, but the other keys sometimes I forget. Still up there mentally fighting, right, with those thoughts and feelings. Wonder, bro, I feel so weird and strange not fighting and obsessing. It's like, what the fuck do I do with my time now, right? It's like feeling lost. Yeah, because you're breaking a lifelong addiction, right? Even before you were sensitized, you probably had somewhat of this addictive sort of obsessive nature, right? So you are letting go of something that you've had very close to you and with you for a very long time. It's going to feel a little bit strange. You are changing your life completely. That's going to feel a little bit odd, a little bit strange, right? So who can blame you for feeling that way? Holy shit. No way, for real? Was that a mistake? Was that a mistake? K coming in with the 70? The 70? I'm going to get like a high-pitched voice here. The 70? Are you serious? I'm going to assume that wasn't a mistake, but if it was, let me know. But for now, thank you so much. I appreciate you. That takes us to a 13-day streak. Can we show some love in the chat, man? Can we show some love? Wow, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. That helps me out a ton. You have no idea. Let's get you up on the board for sure. For sure. No mistake. Okay, I was gonna say, is that's a pretty high tip amount. Was that a mistake? Kay, thank you so much. Right there. There you go. Thank you so much for the $70 tip, taking us to a 13-day streak, man. 80 out of 50 on the tip goal. Can we get a round of applause, man? Round of applause in the chat. I won't actually clap because that would probably be really loud in your ears. But I'm pretend clapping. Thank you so much, Kay, for the $70 tip, and Luis for the $10 tip. Appreciate you guys, man. Show some love in the chat. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Don't know what I would do without you guys. Hello there. Hope you're well, Chris. Welcome, Ghost. Welcome, dude. Hope you're doing fantastic. Still dealing with strong anxiety and thoughts, so just gotta wait it out. Just gotta wait it out and remember it's not the real you. Just let it happen. Let it burn, man. Let the fire burn without adding wood, right? Okay. Are you serious right now? Are you serious? Kay tips another 50 and says, here's another, no mistake. Guys, please spam that chat. We got to get you up on the board again. Spam that chat, guys. Spam that chat. Holy shit. Okay, so that takes us to 130 on the tip goal, man. Spam the chat with the love for Kay. Kay, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Wow. Okay. I see you. Thank you. All right, let's get you up on the board again. Man, I appreciate it. Thank you for showing love in the chat to Kay, guys. If you're new here, Purple Hearts, they represent love and gratitude to our tippers. Anytime we get a tip or support here on the channel, make sure you spam that chat with those Purple Hearts because, yeah, we should always show love and gratitude to our tippers, man. I don't know what we'd do without them. They help keep the show on the road. So please show Kay all the love in the world right now. Thank you. That is massive. You have no idea how much that helps. Hey, Wonder Bro, just stopping by to say hope all is well. Been a while, just living life anxiety free. Thank you, brother. There you go, guys. There's you some extra motivation in the chat tonight. David says, just been living life, man. He's not been here because he's too busy just living life anxiety free. Those two keys, live your life and stop mentally fighting with your thoughts and feelings. Just have that accepting inner voice instead, right? Thanks to those two keys, you got David out of here. He hasn't even been in the chat in forever because he's too busy living life anxiety free. So there you go. It's time to get started, guys. It's time to get started. Back on your journey, Wonder Bro, you said it took you a lot of time to practice two main keys. How long? So like I said, when I learned about acceptance, that doesn't mean I was using it. I read Dr. Claire Weeks. I knew about acceptance and I read about acceptance, I knew about acceptance, but it still took me like 2 to 3 bouts of sensitization year after year in order to get to that place where I really started to dedicate. Holy shit. What is happening? What is happening? Rich coming in with the 70. That takes us to like 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. 200. on the tip goal. Are you serious right now? Says not to one up, but just have to agree with K. You are saving lives, and I am one of them. This is the best way I know to say thanks. Wow. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Do you see the tip goal? 200 on the tip goal? Guys, show all the love in the world to Luis and Kay and Rich. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. And don't worry, I know that the chat is being spammed with purple hearts right now. That is what we do to show love to our tippers. Ghost is spamming the fuck out of it. Don't worry, I still seen some questions. We're going to read those questions. I haven't forgot about you. Don't worry. But I do just want to take a second to say, wow, I really don't know what to say. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, dude. I appreciate it. You have no idea how much that helps me out. Thank you so much. Fully. Holy shit, guys. Holy shit. Are you serious? 205 on the tip goal, man. I can't even keep up. I can't even keep up. We got to get Rich on the board. We got to get Rich on the board. Then we got to get Fully on the board. Man, I can't even keep up. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. There we go. Let's get that updated. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I really do appreciate it. Just to, you know, I know we joke a lot here on the channel, but just to get serious here for a second, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here, right? Plain and simple. If it wasn't for you guys watching and supporting the streams, we just wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be possible for me to do this every single day. You know, this is what I love to do, and you guys make that possible. Without you guys, this doesn't exist. Without you guys, the streams don't exist. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You don't know how much that helps me out. It helps me out a ton. You have no idea. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Love you guys. Love you guys. Right there. Love you so much. Full credit to these beautiful people back here. One question I do have pertains to interest in life. The old me loves. The old me loves love. Okay, sorry, that was a bit of a tongue twister there. The old me loves love and finding that one to spend my life with. I'm spitting all over the place. I love sports and video games and movies. I don't really have interest in any of that because you're in fight or flight, right? So when you are in fight or flight, which means you have that tired nervous system, of course your brain is not going to allow you to find a whole lot of interest in things like sports and video games and movies, but you have to do it anyway to prove to the brain that the tiger doesn't exist. So if you are in a state of tired nerves, aka fight or flight, do you think your brain is going to allow you to find a whole lot of interest in these things? Because you got to understand, your brain thinks you're in danger. If your brain thinks you're in danger, now we know you're not in danger, now you got to prove that to the brain, but if your brain legitimately thinks you're in danger, do you think it's going to care about sports or video games or movies? Of course it's not going to care about sports or video games or movies because it thinks you're in danger. So that's the last thing your brain cares about. But then that's where you come in with the knowledge that you've gained from these streams, and you say, hey, I know I like these things, so I'm going to do these things anyway, even if I don't have much interest in them due to the fog, the bluff of sensitization. I'm going to do these things anyway. And I know it's a bluff, so I'm going to do them anyway. I'm going to show my brain that the danger doesn't exist, and I'm going to stop fighting with my thoughts and feelings mentally. That is the two keys in a nutshell right there. Live your life even though you don't have much interest in it, right? And again, I just explained why that is. Your brain thinks you're in danger. You know you're not. Show that to your brain by doing these things anyway. So live your life and stop mentally fighting with your thoughts and feelings. That is the two keys right there. So I hope that answers your question, gamer. Hope that answers your question. And that's why you don't let anxiety call the shots. That's why you do whatever you want to do and don't let anxiety call the shots. It's pretty crazy how the state of your nervous system changes you under your awareness. I also noticed when I healed previously how natural it feels when your interest in things and being more social comes back. Yeah, it comes back because you're getting out of the fight or flight. But even while you're in the fight or flight, you should do these things anyway because you know it's a bluff. You're not in real danger. You're not in real danger, right? You're not in real danger. Yeah, you can still have tired nerves even if you don't have symptoms that are peeking their head up right now, gamer. You can still takes time for your interest and your emotions and all these things to regulate, even if you're not having high symptoms right in this moment, right? Even though your nerves are not popping off right in this moment, you can still very much be in the healing process, right? When you say you will heal, you mean back to normal. Yes. And since you've been healed 6-7 years, have you ever had some panic or OCD, obsessive thoughts, or going crazy again, year after year? I did a video a long time ago, I think it was like a year after the channel started, where I did a video. It was like, hey guys, I had some panic symptoms come on and they were totally irrelevant and I treated them like, you know, like a mosquito. But other than that, I'm just a normal human. Now, I want you to understand this, right? As a normal human being, you are going to have thoughts. You're never not going to not have a thought or two, right? You're not going to have intense thoughts. You're not going to be flooded with intrusive thoughts like you are when you're sensitized, but you're going to have thoughts. As a normal human being, you're going to have emotions. You're going to feel nervousness from time to time when the situation calls for it, right? You're going to have, like I said, negative thoughts from time to time. You're going to have emotions. You're going to have all these things, right? But it's regulated. That's the key word. It's regulated. It's quote unquote normal. So you're never going to become a superhuman, right? Something could happen in my life right now that gets a negative reaction out of me. Okay, so you're never going to become superhuman. But can you get out of the really sticky, ton of intrusive thoughts 24/7, and my nerves are on edge and they're not healed and I've got all these anxiety symptoms popping off? Yes, you can absolutely heal from that and have a solid nervous system, right? And have a solid nervous system. But are you ever going to get to the point where you're not human? No. No. Anytime something stressful comes up in my life, I still use the 2 keys. Even though my nerves are solid, I don't fight with the stressful things in my life. I don't fight with any thoughts that I'm having about stressful things in my life. I still use the 2 keys. I tell you guys all the time, the 2 keys are good life advice, not just good anxiety advice, right? So can you heal your nerves and get a solid nervous system? Yes. And that's what I was able to do with this advice. And so many other people here in this chat was able to do with this advice. But will you ever become superhuman? No, you'll never become superhuman, but you can heal your nervous system. Absolutely. Absolutely. And to answer your question more specifically, no, I don't get like intrusive thoughts. Like I could sit here and I could think about themes that used to set me off in the past and they cause no reaction. I could sit here, and I've done it before, watch documentaries on like insane asylums, which used to be a huge trigger for me, a nonstop intrusive thought, and I just find it interesting. I don't find it anxiety provoking whatsoever. So you can absolutely change your brain. Now again, it doesn't matter what the content is, because I had many intrusive thoughts, not just going crazy. I had many intrusive thoughts on different themes. Doesn't matter what the theme is. All those things, I don't care about them anymore, right? I don't care about them anymore. And just like everyone in the chat who has come in here and said, hey guys, keep doing your thing, man. You can overcome it. You absolutely can. Let's see. Whether it's high or low anxiety, I just continue to not engage with thoughts, feelings, no matter how intense the urge. And let me tell y'all, it works. I see the difference. Just let it go and let it burn. I love it, dude. I absolutely love it. Thank you for that comment. I wish I could pin that comment. Is that a feature yet? I don't think that's a feature yet. I have also learned so much from this time of anxiety and sensitization. It hurts, but this is an amazing learning opportunity. I love the perspective, Rich. I love the perspective. Yeah, absolutely, gamer. You don't have to be having or showing current symptoms right in this moment in order to be considered in the healing process, right? You don't have to. No, it takes time for your emotions and everything to regulate. Absolutely. And you'll always be human, man. You'll always be human. But you can heal your nervous system and get back to normal, right? And then you can still use this advice even after you heal your nervous system. Like, you know, just for example, even though my nerves are pretty damn solid, right? And have been for quite some time. When I lost my dad, and then I lost my grandpa, and then I thought I was going to be homeless. Like, that's some big events, from really big stressful events. There was a ton of stress running through my body, right? I could have easily became quote unquote sensitized, right? If I would have allowed that to pull me into negativity and obsession day after day oh God, I burped, day after day after day. I could have easily allowed that to kind of get me a little bit sensitized, right? But instead, I just greeted these things with a solid nervous system, which makes it a lot easier, right? I will say, makes it a lot easier once you heal and then you greet things with a solid nervous system. You have to do that now before you're healed, but with a solid nervous system, I was able to greet these things and say, hey, I'm going to have to accept life for what it is, right? I didn't start obsessing, oh my God, this person died, and what if this happens, and what if this happens? I didn't start doing that. I just took it for what it was. That's pretty easy to do when you heal the nervous system and you've got these skills. So as you guys heal and you come out of this thing, you'll still have these skills, and it'll lead to a better life. It'll lead to a better life, right? And I know some people out there are thinking, man, I don't want to have to use these skills. You won't have to technically use these skills once you heal your nervous system, because you're not going to be prompted by constant intrusive thoughts and symptoms anymore. But my point is, if you find yourself in a predicament like I did not long ago, losing family and stuff, like losing your dad and facing like losing your house, and you find yourself in predicaments like that, you can absolutely use these skills whether you're sensitized or not, and it'll just make for an easier life. It'll just make for a better life. So I hope that makes sense, because I know there's some confusion around that topic, but I hope I was able to sum that up pretty well tonight. Does that make sense to everybody? Right? You can use these skills for the rest of your life whether you have tired nerves or not, right? Hope that makes sense, because I know that can be a bit of a confusing topic, but yeah, after you heal your nervous system, you're not going to be prompted by constant intrusive thoughts. You're not going to be prompted by constant symptoms, but you're still going to be human, and you're going to experience human stuff, and human things are going to happen to you. And even though your nerves are solid, you can still use these skills, and you should. You should. I lost my best friend and my uncle. I lost my best friend, my uncle, and another friend in 6 months. Now my dog has cancer. I can absolutely relate to you. Losing so many people in a short span of time is not easy, but absolutely these skills will apply to your normal life. And I'm sorry for your losses, right? I'm sorry for your losses, and I hope this advice can make it a bit more easier for you to handle that. It will, if you're willing to use it. When I get anxious and I float with it and accept it and the rush goes by, I can use my logic and thinking mind again. I realize what set me off is silly, or it's just a simple process. I love it, dude. I love it. So in your experience, Wonder Bro, your interest in the old you came back in layers, or in layers over time, or did it all come back at once? It comes back in layers over time, very gradually, sometimes so gradually you don't even realize it. I had the most terrifying anxiety attack when I first woke up this morning, and guess what? You're still here. I know you, Mr. Craig. I've known you for a while. I know you're worried that these panic attacks or whatever is going to harm you in some way, but guess what? You're still here. You're typing in my chat. Nothing ever happens, Craig. You're going to be okay, man. You're going to be fine. Nothing ever happens. This is a bluff. It's an illusion. It's not the real you. It's just strong emotion, and I know that strong emotion can be intense, but it never amounts to anything, right? It never amounts to anything. Sent you money on PayPal, did you, Craig? I think I missed it. Let me see. Let me see. Wait, I think I missed. Did I miss? I may have missed several people here. I think Jen sent us a. Was it a 20? I think so. And then Craig sent us a 33. I have missed several people here, guys. I apologize so much. I'm so sorry. If you don't use the link in the description, it doesn't pop up on screen, and sometimes I'm not even looking at my phone and I don't see it. But Craig with the $30 tip, and then I believe Jim with a 20. Thank you guys so much, man. Thank you. I am so sorry that I missed that. Holy shit, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that for a second. Thank you guys so much, and I'm so sorry that I missed it. I am so sorry, dude. I apologize. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Jen. And I believe that's JR in the chat. Thank you, guys. Man, you guys are awesome, dude. Thank you. Yeah, just for future reference, if you do send any tips and you don't use the link in the description, you just go straight through the PayPal, that's fine. But please let me know in the chat so that I can thank you. I feel really bad anytime I miss any tips. I feel really guilty about it. So please let me know in the chat. That way I can thank you for it. Let me update the board. Real quick. You guys are awesome, man. That is a fucking insane tip goal. That is an insane tip goal. Okay, let me update this. All right, there we go. I'm Jen. Okay, I thought so. Thank you so much, Jen, for the 20. The 20. You deserve more. Appreciate that, Craig. You're awesome. You deserve it, man. You're out here helping people. When I'm out this, I will do the same. Pay it forward. Everyone deserves to live their best life. Appreciate that, gamer. Thank you for those kind words. Like you're trying to sleep and not even on purpose, trying to figure out thoughts that don't even make sense. It's just addicting, isn't it, Kay? You just spend so much time up here trying to figure out your thoughts and feelings, and that was the point of tonight's stream, is that there's nothing to figure it out. It's only making you worse trying to figure it out. You just got to see through the bluff, see through the fog, right? That's in the point of the stream tonight. See through the fog. That's in the title. You have to see through the fog and realize it's not the real you, and that there's nothing that you need to fight with or figure out. There's nothing you need to fight with or figure out. How are you doing now, Craig? Feeling a bit better? You know what's ironic? You know what's ironic, Craig? You said, man, I've never felt anything like that before, and I've never had fear that intense. That's not the first time you've told me that, Mr. Craig, right? And the only reason I'm pointing this out is not to try to throw you under the bus. I just want you to realize how much of a bluff this is. You've told me a handful of times in the past already that you've never experienced fear that intense. You've told me that about 3 or 4 times, right? So I want you to see how each time you trick yourself into thinking, oh, this is it, this is the end, I've never felt anything like this. It always passes, and then we just kind of repeat the cycle. So eventually you got to stop giving it so much credit. Eventually you got to stop giving it so much of your power, so much credit, so much mental arguing with these thoughts and feelings, right? I wake up stuck between dreaming and reality, feeling anxious as fuck. Morning anxiety is such a common thing. You got all those chemicals rushing around in your body trying to regulate. Your best bet is to get up and not lay there and try to fight with those thoughts and feelings. As fucking worried about weird shit. It is what it is. Yes, sir. What are you drinking? I am drinking Frost Gatorade Glacier Freeze. It's very good, very tasty. It's between the blue Gatorade and the yellow Gatorade. I don't know which I like more. I like to do the one-on-one. Yeah, absolutely. I do one-on-one coaching for anyone who's interested in that. Just reach out to me, DM me on any of my social media, Vacate Fear. What should I try to think of instead of obsessing on various negative subjects? The only positive things in my life are my dogs. You don't have to replace the negative intrusive thoughts with other thoughts. You can allow them to be without arguing with them. So what should I try to think of instead of obsessing on various subjects? I wouldn't say that you have to cram something in there to think about. I would just say become aware, oh, there's that negative thought. I'm not going to obsess about it. It is what it is. So that's the non-engagement inner voice, right? You're not trying to cram something in there to try to overlap that one and then push that one out, because then you're just trying to force yourself to not think about it, and then you're going to think about it more. So just allow its presence. But instead of adding to it, instead of following it, instead of adding obsession to it, just remind yourself with that accepting inner voice, okay, that's there. It is what it is. I know it's a bluff, right? And just while you're living your life, the 2 keys, stop mentally fighting with your thoughts and feelings and live your life, right? All right, guys, we're getting to the end of this one. You guys have absolutely just blown me away tonight. I did not expect any of that. So thank you so much for being a part of that. I don't know what else to say besides that is fucking awesome, and you guys are amazing. Thank you for all the likes, the comments, the excellent questions tonight. And, of course, not to run it in the ground, but thank you so much for the amazing support on the stream tonight, guys. I really, really appreciate it. You have no idea how much that helps me out. Thank you for making this channel what it is today, because again, without you guys, it would not be what it is today. So thank you so much for that. And thank you for the awesome stream tonight. Thank you, bro. Yeah, absolutely, Paul. Remember, dude, you're not trying to stop thinking about it, because that's just going to make you think about it more. It's just you're accepting these thoughts' presence, but you're not following them. You're not adding to them. You're not fighting with them. You're just using that accepting inner voice. Hey, it is what it is. You know, I know it's a bluff. And then you're just living life. two main keys. Stop fighting with your thoughts and feelings and live your life. I get frustrated feelings when doing work, but then I accept and continue to do work. That's okay. Absolutely, dude. Accept your feelings. You can't help what feelings come. You can't help what thoughts come, but you can help whether or not you fight with them in a negative way, or if you just accept them and remind yourself to keep on living. All right. I love you guys oh so much. Thank you. Big stretch. Big stretch, big stretch. How do I live in the now? By accepting your thoughts and feelings without adding to them, right? I love you guys so much. Thank you for everything. You've blown me away tonight with the outpour of love and support, and I don't know how to say thank you enough times, so I'm just going to keep saying it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you all very, very soon. Until next time, as always, right there. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. Stay awesome.